Welcome back to History of Simple Things. Today's topic comes from one of our viewers, Roblaw369. Thanks for the suggestion. You asked, why are they called pajamas? If you've ever changed into your favorite sleepwear after a long day, curled up in bed, or even stayed in pajamas all weekend, you've probably never stopped to think about the history behind that simple word. Pajamas may seem ordinary, but their name has traveled across continents, passed through empires, and survived centuries of cultural change. So how did a foreign leg garment become the universal symbol of bedtime comfort? Stick around as we uncover the surprising journey of pajamas, right here on History of Simple Things. The story of pajamas begins not in a bedroom, but in South Asia, specifically in regions that are now part of India, Pakistan, and Iran. Long before pajamas were associated with sleep, people in these regions wore loose-fitting trousers called pajama. The word comes from Persian, where pay means leg and jama means garment or clothing. So pajama literally meant leg garment. These were lightweight, breathable pants tied at the waist with a drawstring, perfect for hot climates. They were worn by men and women alike, often as everyday clothing, not sleepwear. Farmers, merchants, scholars, and even royalty wore versions of these trousers because they were practical, comfortable, and easy to move in. In other words, pajamas started their life as outdoor wear, not bedtime fashion. Fast forward to the 17th and 18th centuries, when the British Empire expanded into South Asia. British officials, traders, and soldiers working for the East India Company began living in India for long periods. There, they encountered local clothing styles, including pajamas. Compared to tight European trousers and stiff uniforms, these loose pants felt incredibly comfortable, especially in tropical heat. Many British men began wearing them at home, particularly in the evenings or while relaxing indoors. Over time, the British adapted both the clothing and the word. Pajama slowly became pajama in British English, and later pajamas in American English. What started as cultural borrowing gradually turned into a fashion trend back in Europe. At first, pajamas weren't meant for sleeping. In 19th century Europe, most people slept in long nightshirts, basically oversized shirts that reached down to the knees. Pajamas were considered informal lounge clothes, something a gentleman might wear while reading, smoking, or receiving close friends at home. But as ideas about hygiene, comfort, and personal space changed, people began preferring separate clothing for sleeping. Pajamas, with their loose fit and breathable fabric, were perfect for the job. By the late 1800s and early 1900s, pajamas had become popular sleepwear for men in Britain and America. Women's pajamas followed later, especially in the 1920s and 1930s, when fashion became more relaxed and women started wearing trousers more openly. Slowly, pajamas transformed from foreign-inspired pants into the global symbol of bedtime. What's interesting is that even as pajamas changed in shape, style, and purpose, the word itself stayed almost the same. Many clothing items changed names over time, but pajamas remained remarkably stable. That's because it was already well established by the time sleepwear became mainstream. It sounded exotic, elegant, and different from ordinary English words, which made it memorable. Plus, it didn't have a simple English equivalent. Leg garment doesn't exactly sound cozy, so people kept using the borrowed word, passing it down from generation to generation. Over time, most people forgot it was borrowed at all. Today, pajamas feels just as English as shirt, or shoes, even though its roots are thousands of kilometers away. Different cultures have embraced pajamas in different ways. In Japan, traditional sleepwear like yukata still exists alongside modern pajamas. In China, lightweight cotton pajamas are often worn both indoors and outdoors. In some countries, it's completely normal to see people shopping or walking outside in pajamas. Meanwhile, in Western countries, pajamas have become fashion statements. Think silk sets, matching family pajamas, and even designer sleepwear costing hundreds of dollars. Yet despite all these variations, they all trace back to the same basic idea: loose, comfortable clothing that started in South Asia centuries ago. Today, pajamas are more than just something you wear to bed. They're symbols of relaxation, safety, and personal time. Putting on pajamas often signals that the day is over, work is done, stress can wait, it's time to rest. During events like the COVID-19 pandemic, pajamas even became unofficial work clothes for millions of people working from home. Video calls on top, pajamas on the bottom. Once again, pajamas return to their original role as everyday comfort wear, just like they were centuries ago. So the next time you slip into your pajamas, remember that you're wearing more than just soft fabric. You're wearing a piece of global history, a word born in Persian, shaped in South Asia, adopted by British colonists, and spread across the world. From farmers and royalty to office workers and students, pajamas have followed humanity through changing lifestyles and cultures. They started as leg garments, became symbols of leisure, and ended up as the universal uniform of sleep. And all of that history is hidden in a word you probably say every single night without thinking about it. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.